Hey everyone, and welcome. So, have you ever stopped to wonder what really drives us? Why do we bother doing anything at all? Well, today we're going to dig into a really cool theory that says it all comes down to two things: a sponge and a spectacle.
All right, let's just jump right in with the main metaphor here. The whole idea kicks off with this powerful concept. Our brain isn't really a thinking machine, first and foremost. It's an absorbing machine. It's basically a giant sponge, just constantly soaking up everything from the world around it.
So that brings us to our first big idea, the brain as a sponge. What does that actually mean? To have a mind that's built not just to think, but to react. Well, think of our brains as these incredibly sophisticated systems, just packed with sensors. And their main job? To take in data, sights, sounds, feelings, you name it, and then to react. They are just wired for action, constantly dealing with the flow of beginnings and endings that, make up our lives.
I mean, just think about it for a second. This is a machine that never really shuts down. It's always on, always processing something, always reacting. It's always doing. And this constant state of doing actually creates a huge, almost unsolvable problem for the machine itself.
Right, so this constant action leads to the central problem of our existence, what this theory calls the unthinkable end. How can a machine that is only built for action ever possibly understand total inaction?
And that's the big paradox, isn't it? Our sponge brain is an absolute pro at experience, at stimulus and response. But how can it possibly wrap its head around the one thing it can never, ever experience? The total and complete end of everything. It's like a mental brick wall.
Sure, we can think about life logically, right? It's a journey from point A, birth, to point B, death. We can talk about it, we can draw it out, but our brain, the sponge, can't actually feel or process the complete nothingness of point B. It only knows the something that happens in between.
But here's the thing about us humans. We're pretty clever. The ancient Greeks, when they were staring down this exact same mental roadblock, they didn't just throw up their hands. Nope. They came up with a totally brilliant and incredibly productive solution. They just created a world beyond.
So instead of just accepting this void, they built an entire parallel reality. They dreamed up a there/beyond, this superior, infinite, unchanging world that existed right alongside our messy, finite here/now. And this other world? Well, it had all the answers that ours didn't.
And you can see how methodical they were about it. It was like a three-step plan. Step 1, create this parallel world of the gods. Step 2, use that world to explain why we exist at all. And step 3, build a bridge, a story that connects our two worlds together. Pretty smart, right?
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. How they defined who lived in these two worlds. You had gods, and you had mortals. And the difference wasn't just, about who could throw thunderbolts.
The real difference, the key distinction, is all about change versus permanence. We mortals, we're the sponges, right? We're always feeling, always changing, always getting knocked around by time. The gods, though, they're static. They can act, they have drama, but they're totally indifferent to time and consequences. Their whole existence is just this kind of absurd, never-ending show.
And this idea of masks just captures it so perfectly. The gods wear one single, permanent mask. They are who they are forever. But us, we humans, we wear masks too. All the different roles we play. But ours aren't fixed. They're temporary. They keep coming off, one after another, until we're just done.
And all of this leads us to the grand finale of this whole theory. Because if there's a there/beyond, if there's someone watching us, then our lives down here in the here/now suddenly get a brand new and pretty epic purpose.
And just like that, our short, messy, changing existence is completely transformed. It's not just some random journey from A to B anymore. It becomes a performance. Our lives become a play that's unfolding on a cosmic stage with real cosmic significance.
I mean, let's be real. What actor is going to give it their all in an empty theater? For our actions to feel like they matter, for us to be motivated to even play our part, we have to believe that someone is watching. And it can't be just any old audience.
We need an audience that's permanent. In a world where absolutely everything changes, our feelings, our jobs, our masks, we crave the validation of an audience that is stable, static, and eternal. And that's the hope the Greeks gave us, a permanent, divine audience to watch our temporary lives unfold.
And this, right here, is the ultimate punchline. That deep, fundamental fear of the end, That nothingness our brains can't even process, that's the very thing that buys our ticket to the show. It's what motivates us to put on our masks and perform, to give our lives meaning, and to make sure the spectacle keeps going.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. You know, the ancient gods might not be around for many of us anymore, but that need for an audience, I don't think that's gone anywhere. So in our world today, who or what are we performing for? Who is your audience?